Hello, everybody. What's up? Hello, everybody. What's up? This is the one and only African superstar back at it again. I know we have not been on for a couple weeks, so please do excuse that, my partner and I. Tonight, we're going to talk about this topic. And before I get into the subject matter, let me go ahead and bring in my highly esteemed tour partner, Mr. Taye Uhuru, in the building. Hello, sir. How are you doing?
Peace, Queen. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yeah, I
See
can
you?
hear you. I can hear you.
I'm good.
Hello,
Can you hear
hello,
me?
hello, hello. What's up? I have with me
Oh,
Mr.
okay, okay.
Taye
Thank you
Uhuru. This
again.
is my tour partner. Yes, good to see you again. How's it? How's everything going over there?
Yeah, definitely. It's always an honor.
All
Oh
right.
man, same
Okay.
mode. It's definitely an honor every time I connect with you.
That's what's up. All right. So first of all, big shout outs to the African Superstar family. I know I've been a little scarce. I have to make my platform aware that YouTube has recently demonetized my platform. Um, Obviously, there are so many challenges with the type of topics that I talk. Obviously, you guys know I have a clean platform, no swearing, nothing inappropriate, but yet it's still the censorship is at an all-time high. So I've been a little bit scarce because obviously they're still capitalizing on my content, even though I'm not currently making any money off my content. So those of you guys that are concerned, please continue to support the platform in various ways, PayPal, Cash App, so on and so forth. Um, Always helpful for me. Today, I want to talk about this topic, which came up. This is kind of relative current events, which is who taught Black Americans what they think they know about Africa. And I know Mr. Taye Uhuru can definitely relate. He is a world traveler. He's traveled many, many nations, 20 nations currently on the continent. He's visited Latin America. He's been around the world. And, when you're in America, we get a lot of stereotypes ingested in us, via the media, via education, be it false education or omitted education. And what I've come to realize is a lot of these things are just regurgitated things that you can't verify. You can't actually say, oh, yeah, I went to Senegal and I saw this, or I went to Nigeria and I experienced this. You are actually getting education hearsay. And I bring up this topic because obviously, for those of you guys that have been on the platform a while, you know that Mr. Taye Uhuru and I have teamed up and we're offering a tour in Ghana the very first week of March. And this is an opportunity for you to come to the continent and see it for yourself and make your own impression, because critical thinkers should want to know where they should be able to analyze the fact that if they haven't been a place, where did they get the information that they know? The mediums that are providing the information to them are biased medias, biased mediums and things like that. And they can't really be trusted. And at the same time, some of the people that have discouraged the diaspora in visiting the continent are the same people that are enterprising here, have been holidaying here, have been enjoying the fruits of the continent for many, many, many decades. And what I would love to see is the diaspora begin to enjoy the continent a lot more. It may not be for everybody, but it may be for some of you. And in order for you to determine that, instead of being lofty, you start with the visit. Mr. Taye Uhuru. So tell me, when you first came to Africa, where was your first trip on the continent?
The first time I visited Africa, I was in Cape Town, South Africa.
Okay, you went to South Africa, and that's a place I've also visited. So, what were some of the stereotypes that you personally had in your mind before you went to Africa, and then how did that contrast with the reality of actually going there?
Man, it was a major contrast because I went almost a decade ago, so it wasn't as much information. It wasn't as many people uploading videos of their travels to
Yeah.
South Africa. So everything I Googled was about rape and AIDS and, just a bunch of negative stuff. And like you say, people that hadn't even been to Africa, they was giving me a hard time about it. Like, man, you gonna go out there, this gonna happen, that's gonna happen. It's gonna look like this, the women like this, the people like this, they don't like us. But when I went out there, it was the total opposite. The people were
Uh-huh.
very, very beautiful. Some of the most beautiful people I ever
Some of the
seen
most
on
beautiful people
earth.
you ever seen. Right.
Yeah, yeah, very, very friendly, very welcoming. I mean, not just one person, but like multiple people. They were like,
Yeah.
"Welcome home, welcome home, welcome home." People was rolling out the red carpet for me. People I never even met. They were inviting me to their homes. They was cooking for me. It was just an amazing experience. I was blown away. They had malls. The malls that they had in Cape Town looked better than the malls that we had in Cleveland. Cleveland, we had potholes and cracks and the streets was almost destroyed, but in Cape Town they had roads that was paved and smooth and it wasn't nothing negative. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't paradise, but it was not what I expected at all.
Right. Right. And I know, for instance, my first impression of South Africa, I went to Johannesburg, which is my favorite place in South Africa. And I remember I was so impressed when I got to OR Tambo. It's like a state of the art, international airport.
Hmm.
And I remember when I was flying into Johannesburg, I was astounded at how huge the city was, because probably, 10, 15 minutes coming in, the city was just sprawling. And I was just amazed at, this. And then obviously what was so profound, and I talk about it a lot on the channel, was the Black majority. You know what I'm saying? Like just seeing Black people everywhere. Like I remember I stopped at a shopping center and there was a bank there. And I went in there to change money to the South African rand. And everybody in the bank, all the employees, the bank manager, everybody was Black. And they started speaking Xhosa to me, one of the languages in South Africa. And that happened several times. When I was around, people would just start speaking a language to me, and I was like, wow. And there was just a profound sense of belonging. Like when you are in an environment and you are always the minority, it begins to frame the way that you look at the world. And so when you're actually in a place where you are not a minority, you're actually a part of the majority. People are a reflection of you, so to speak. It's very, very powerful. And I realized that if I never went to South Africa, for instance, Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Tanzania, I had very little contextual information about these places before I went. Now, obviously, I started my travels after you. When was your first time going?
To South Africa, it was around 2013 or 14, something
Okay, yeah.
like that.
So he was, because I remember, I
Oh, you
was
said this was
checking
me?
out his information
Okay.
prior to me going to the continent. That's how we actually connected and became friends years ago. And I went to South Africa in 2016. And I had very little contextual, you know, factual information. And so the question I want to pose, because on Facebook I see these people, some of these Black American people, and they're just so derogatory when it comes to the continent. And my question is, where did you get the information that you have about the continent? If you've never been, and maybe you've interacted with a few Africans in America, maybe through work or in your community, and that has now shaped your opinion of the continent as a whole, my friend, you are sorely misguided. And I challenge you, actually. I challenge you to take the initiative to get some type of context. Now, if you come here and you say, I've been there, it didn't work out for me, I didn't like it, then that's fine, because you've actually experienced it for yourself, and now you have a personal account as to why, it was quite hot there and the food was spicy, and I didn't like this, I didn't like that. There are obviously problems here on the continent, but I found that in my case, from the diasporans that I know that have come to the continent, overwhelmingly they like it, they prefer it, they may be visiting repetitively, or they've come to settle now. They've expanded on their travels. overwhelmed, the majority of the diasporans that I know that have actually made the journey continue their relationship with the continent. Very few of them are like, nah, I wasn't into it. So I think that's quite profound. And obviously we, both my tour partner and I were very proactive people. And so we want to provide this opportunity for you to come and visit the continent, as well as people that we've done a lot of the legwork. We came when it wasn't popular, way before Year of Return. We were venturing on to the continent when there was little resources online. I remember when I used to Google going to Africa, like Taya said, I would see these expat blogs, and they were always from white people. And they would be talking about like going to safari, or they've gone for like mission work, like the Peace Corps or something. They've gone out to rural villages, this kind of stuff. There was very little information from like an audience of your peers that have been there and can tell it from your own perspective, because we all know that the non-Black people really try to put this savior spin on their relationship with the continent. They're coming to do missionary work. They're coming to, evangelize the non-civilized people. That's how they always portray their work here. Is like, oh, we're opening, opportunities to these people. There's a whole nother side to this that you've never seen if you have yet to be here. And so we want to welcome you on our tour. Mr. Uhuru, you want to give them the rundown, what we got lined up for them and things like that?
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, just to reiterate on some of the
you
stuff
sound you sound a little far. Can you put your volume up or something?
It sounds low?
Yeah.
Is it still low?
Yeah. Is it your headphones? Maybe you got a mic or something? I don't know.
You should take the headphones.
Let's see if that's better. What's up, TK? What's up, El Diablo?
Hold on, let me try. Nothing was muted.
Okay, that's better.
Is it better? It's better?
Yeah, it's better now.
Oh, okay.
Big shout out to,
I mean, just to kind of touch on some of the stuff you were saying, like, man, when you go to Africa, like you get on that plane ride, it could be a Black pilot, it could be a Black staff, Black flight attendants. You get there, you arrive at the airport. Oliver Tambo is named after a Black person. You go to the ATM, you take the money out the machine. There's Black people on the money. You get in a taxi, the taxi driver Black. You ride down the street named after a Black person. The president Black, the governor Black, the fireman Black, the police Black. So a Black man or a Black woman in America, they cannot fully develop if they've been a minority their entire life.
Yeah.
So that's something that everybody needs to experience, even if it's just on a visit, and even if
just for holiday context.
Right, definitely. So even if you only visit one African country, Africa has almost 60 different countries. So you still got a lot more to learn, a lot more to see. I've been to 20 African countries and I ain't even halfway done.
Right. Right. Big shout out to the African Superstar family. Guys, if you're here, please make sure you like the stream. We're here having conversations related around, who taught you what you know about the continent. There's no better way for you to actually know than for you to come and experience and do your own research. I'm telling you, it's a life-changing experience for, like I said, the majority of people I know that have come, they love it. They continue to travel. Some have moved, some have married continental people. I mean, but you can't really start that journey until you take the initial step. So we have provided a tour for you upcoming in March. We would love for you to come and join us. Our booking and itinerary is right here on the screen at tayaehuru.com. What's up, El Diablo? I see you in the building. Yes, T. Kells is here. She says, I learned from old commercials with white folks. Scared the heck out of me, but I didn't trust them. A long time ago when I began my platform, T. Kelly had yet to travel to the continent back then. And since then, she's visited Nigeria. She's also visited Ghana. You know what I'm saying? And so she's a person who, for instance, took that initiative to see the continent for her own eyes. And now when somebody says Nigeria, you know, for the average Black American, Africa seems so far away, you know, if you don't know about it. You know, I remember I was talking to somebody online and they were saying, you know, how many hours does it take to get to Ghana? And I was like, well, you can get direct flights from like, you know, JFK, you know, 6-7 hours, London. You can be here in 6 hours. Same thing, Lagos, Accra. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah, you know, contextually, it's really not as far as we feel like it is. And it just seems like such a foreign land. I mean, obviously it can be a culture shock, you know, coming. A lot of things are different. The language differences, the food, the time difference, you know, there are a lot of differences, but it's really not, you know, it's not outer space or anything unfathomable like that. And I really just encourage you all to come. You know, those of you that are interested, some of you guys are going to go down on a sinking ship in America, and that's your choice. But there are others of you that are intrigued. There are others of you that feel like you have a calling, you know, something's calling you there. You've been wanting to come for years or whatever. Then this is a great opportunity. What better way to come experience Ghana, for instance, with the one and only African Superstar? If you're a fan of our platform here and you would love to spend a week with me, get a private concert, you know, we're going to get a lot of the historical stuff from Mr. Uhuru. He's a historian, he's an author, he's a world traveler. He's going to, you know, bring a lot of the context to the places that we visit and the historical aspects. He's toured here in Ghana before. Mr. Uhuru, tell him about our tour. Like, what's the rundown? What's some of the stuff we're going to do?
Okay, so for the tour, we're gonna visit three cities. We're gonna visit Accra, we're gonna visit Kumasi, we're gonna visit Cape Coast. So just with one visit, you're gonna get more than your money's worth. You know what I'm saying? We really gonna get a thorough exploration of the country of Ghana. You know, we're gonna see a lot of historical sites. We're gonna go to museums. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna go to the beach. You know, we're gonna do a little bit of the nightlife. You know, we're going to do a little bit of everything, but it's going to be an educational and a spiritual experience.
Absolutely. So for our cost of the tour, which the total cost is $4,000, you're going to get your airfare from either JFK or London, or, you know, if you need a bespoke place, you're coming from another location and you still want to participate, you can reach out to either of us so we can work that out for you. That's going to include your hotel accommodation, your transportation, your breakfast and lunch, as well as a private concert with me, a traditional photo, you know, your entrance fees to the various sites that we're going to. So you're going to it's really a good price for what we're offering. The tour is 7 days. It starts on the 4th of March, and you're actually going to be here for Ghana Independence Day, which is the 6th of March. So I know personally, several of you over the years, you know, have asked me and approached me, oh, African Superstar, are you going to do tours? Are you going to have any kind of meet and greet? Yes, here's your opportunity. 2024 is our year, and I have carefully handpicked my partner. You know, because I personally got to say, I'm tired of all this struggle life stuff that goes online. If any of you guys are tired of these struggle life scams, courses, tours, whatever, let me see a number 1 in the chat room. If you're tired of this struggle life culture, let me see a number 1. I handpicked Mr. Taye Uhuru to do this tour because he's the best man for the job. He's thorough. He's consistent. He's trustworthy. He's a world traveler. You know, both of us kind of know how to shape this and make it a great experience for you because we've been to many places and we know what it's like to travel for hours and you experience all these kind of hiccups. You get there's mix-ups and all that. We want to alleviate all that stress for you when you come to Ghana. All you got to do, take yourself to the airport, make your plane on time, and arrive. We'll be there to get you from the airport, and then the fun starts. You know what I mean? The fun starts. So obviously, we haven't been on in a couple weeks because we've been, you know, schedule conflicts. Mr. Uhuru, this guy, he's a busy man. He's a busy man. But I respect that brother out there hustling, doing his thing, getting his bread, doing what he has to do. So, but we're here again to talk about the tour. We would love for you can arrange your deposit right on the website that's on the screen. You can go ahead and do your $1,000 non-refundable. We're going to immediately book your plane ticket with that. So that's why it's not refundable. So please, if you think you're struggling and you're like, I don't know if I can do the tour, I don't know if my money's going to be right, don't get the deposit because I'm telling you now, it's only for those that want to actually come on a tour. We do know things can come up and all that, but let's do better in general of just trying to be serious individuals. I think a lot of us are tired of this struggle life stuff. I am. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of, obviously some people that come to the continent, they also take advantage of other people's interests and, they're not doing the best things as well. And that's embarrassing to us as a whole, in my opinion. So I just want to separate myself from all of that and make sure we give you the best experience. Big shout outs to the African Superstar family. What's up, Kevin? I see you. He says that there's a must-read book called Africanisms of American Culture by Joseph E. Holloway. Any readers in the room, you can pick that up. What's up, MW? She says, I did not learn anything, and I never thought anything of the propaganda commercials. Those were centered around other continents as well. Big shout out to M. So the question, obviously, the topic of the video today is who taught Black Americans what they know about Africa? I've heard some outlandish stories about Africa from people that don't even have passports. And I'm asking myself, how do you know this? Like, where did you get this? Then even sometimes if you probe a little bit, you're like, do you have any African friends? Are you even abreast of the culture or anything? Nah, I don't talk to them. I don't know. Okay, so where did you get these ideas from? You should critically think and ask yourself, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. And let me tell you, I don't want it to be the case, but I don't want the diasporans to be the last ones to realize the opportunities that are here on the continent because they're dragging their feet and they're straddling the fence when they could just come, experience it, and go from there. See if either the hype is true or false. Because I'm pretty sure if Mr. Huru, if he went to South Africa and it was exactly like he thought, he wouldn't be out here trying to educate you folks and promote you to come. And, he would just be like, those things were right. And yeah, I'm not even going back. I was ducking and dodging the way they had me thinking about Johannesburg is like, oh my God, it's just a violent place, dangerous place. And I'm thinking, first of all, you folks in America, I hate to be the one to bear bad news. You are currently in one of the most dangerous countries in the world. Okay. Way more dangerous than several African nations. That's just the reality. Heard about that mass shooting in Maine earlier this week? I was trying to explain it to somebody here because they didn't really understand the concept of how this person just randomly walked up into some businesses. I don't know if you guys, I heard from some friends in Ohio that it was not on the news very much. We got to know about it here in Ghana, and I was posting on my social media, and some people contacted me. They're like, man, I if you didn't post this, I would have never known about it. And I was like, well, that doesn't surprise me because when you guys had that toxic train spill back in February in Ohio, I talked to my sister in Columbus, which is like 2 hours away. And she was like, oh, we haven't heard nothing about it here. And she thought I was blowing it out of proportion. So I was trying to explain to this person how this man who didn't know these folks walked up in a bowling alley, walked up in a recreation center, and walked up in a restaurant and opened fire and just started shooting people. He killed 22 people and 60 people were injured. And as of the last time I looked at the story, the man is at large. There's a manhunt going. They haven't been able to locate him. That's the kind of stuff that's going on in America. And we can't disillusion ourselves to think that we couldn't potentially be affected by these things. If you're somebody who goes to the gym or you go for fitness, You could easily be in a recreation center at 7 p.m. on a, weeknight doing your workout, minding your own business. Certainly, there are statistics say over 50% of Americans, they eat out for every meal that they have. They don't do a lot of preparation of food. So you definitely could be at a restaurant. All right. And we probably got some bowlers in here. You like going for bowling. You in the bowling league or, any of that. You could have been there too. You see? So this is the nature of where you are. What is going on around you. You should not be naive to think that it could not potentially touch you, and that's yet another reason, but that's another topic for another day about Black Americans exercising their opportunity for a backup plan. I think, Mr. Uhuru, is probably safe to say that whenever he visits America, he's probably relieved knowing that I can just bounce anytime I want and go back to Africa. I'm not kind of anchored here anymore because I've made myself knowledgeable about another place to be. I've made networks, I've made friends, I've kind of broke down that unfamiliarity, and I feel the same way. Whenever I go to the UK and I get fed up, I can just book the ticket back to Ghana. Simple. And, it's a nice option, but you can't really start that journey, guys, until you come. So please do consider coming on the tour. If you have not yet been to Ghana, and you've been saying, oh, I really want to go. I don't know anybody over there. I'm a solo traveler. The list goes on. Then this might be your opportunity. You know what I mean? If you decide so. What's up, family? Are you in the building? MW says, my introduction was from a classmate in college. He gave a presentation of his homeland. That was the day I realized I was an African too. Big shout outs to her on that. And he was from Kenya. Big shout outs to the African Superstar family. What's up? Kevin, aka Mr. K, he says, remember the lessons Malcolm X taught us to warn us about the trickery of Western media about Africa. That's a really good point, because from what I understand, Malcolm X became a changed man after he came and visited the continent. When he came and he toured, here, it was a life-changing experience for him. And that was back in the 60s. You know what I mean? There have been a lot of prolific people in the past have been encouraging our people to reconnect with the continent. Until we do that, guys, we're going to be at a disadvantage. And it is what it is. I mean, we see it every day. We're not respected in America because however you feel that it's your home and it's where you were born and raised, we don't have our roots there. And it's very evident that we don't. You know what I mean? We know where our roots kind of begin over there. And many of us are disconnected from the actual homeland where we come from. And that disconnection is always going to create chaos in our mind, whether or not we want to be honest about it. And I would say personally, I've been so empowered by coming here on a continent. I've been so empowered. Obviously, those of you watching me, you know it. You see it. How has that impacted you too, Mr. Uhuru? How has it impacted, coming to the continent? How's that impacted your self-esteem, your mental well-being, your outlook, things like that?
It's very empowering. It's life-changing. You know what I'm saying? That one trip to South Africa just blew my mind. It empowered me because I had always heard, like you say, the negative things about Africa, but then I saw the potential that Africa has. And by me being a world traveler, I was able to compare and contrast. I've been all over Europe. I've been all over Asia. I've been all over North and South America. And it's not even close. Africa is the best of the best. It's the cream of the crop. So anybody that is not even considering visiting Africa, they totally missing out. And like I was saying earlier, a Black man and a Black woman not being able to experience that, they're not going to be a complete human. Your life will change when you visit Africa, especially if you're an open-minded person, you educated and you aware of what's happening to you in America. You can't go nowhere but up. We at the bottom. We at the very bottom. So you can't go nowhere but up.
That's it. Inspirations by Terry is here. What's up, Oliver Coleman? I see you guys. Inspirations by Terry. The topic is who taught Black Americans what they think they know about Africa. If you've never traveled here, you don't have any relationships with African, continental African. Who taught you? Where did you get the ideas that you have that maybe is prohibiting you from coming? I've heard some most outlandish things. I remember when I first came to Ghana, and kind of an elderly lady was planning her trip here, and she asked me if the hotels have pillows and towels. And I was like, I don't know any hotel that doesn't have pillows and towels. The concept that this really is like a barren place, an uncivilized place, there's no conveniences here, is crazy. A lot of the things that you're familiar with, even some of the food chains you're familiar with, they have them here. Okay, they have Wi-Fi here. I'm on it right now. Okay, they have Uber service for your car, car calling service. They have some of the food you're used to, KFC, Pizza Hut. You know what I mean? They have nightlife. They have beaches. They have mansions and home accommodations. Obviously, in some regards, it may not be the standard, that you're used to. We do have power outages here. There are some rough roads here. There's, waste management, a lot of litter places and things like that. That goes on, and I think that's kind of reflected in any major city in the world. I mean, some cities have managed to really hone in on it, like some of the Asian cities, a couple of the European cities. Rwanda has done a good job, but a lot of big cities, it's a lot of people. So it's a lot of trash, a lot of rubbish, a lot of, litter, dirt, and all of that. But I personally see it as an opportunity. If you understand those services, maybe you have a background in waste management or recycling or beautification or tourism. I mean, you can come here, set up shop where you're not probably going to have as much competition as maybe some other places, and make a business, make an industry. I know the beaches here need manicured bad. You know what I mean? So any people that know how to clean the beaches, know how to, do those services and all that, sift the sand and all that stuff, that would be very valuable to resorts and things like that. That's just a little something to think about. What's up? Kimberly's in the building. She says, when I went to Africa, I had so many family members against it. Now 5. Now 5 years later, they want me to take them. I said, hell no, too much toxic energy. Yes. Terry says, I'm now in Africa for 3 years now, and it's the best thing we did. We are in the Gambia. Big shout out to Terry. It's not easy, but it's doable. Absolutely. And, I would say personally, I think the worst thing, and this is just for me, the worst thing about living in the West was the psychological damage that we are subjected to. We are constantly affected and afflicted. And a lot of times people just wave it off. People tell us to quit complaining. People, act like we're making things worse than it is. And it makes you feel invisible, and it makes you feel kind of hopeless. That's where I was. I was in a hopeless state. I was just like, I can't do anything about this environment around me. These things have been in existence for centuries now. They're not interested in making my life better, and things like that. My children will probably have to endure with this. And I just felt so hopeless. Being back on the continent has rejuvenated me because the possibilities are endless. And I feel like there's a lot less red tape between me and my dreams, and it's very empowering to not just be subjected to things that are wrong. Like, I'm pretty sure, has anybody incurred workplace racism, systematic racism? Let me see a number 2. Big shout out to the family. We got 12 of y'all. Let's do some trivia questions. I'm here with my tour partner, Mr. Taye Ahubru. We're here to talk about our tour in Ghana, March 2024. And we want you to get some practical education about the continent. Since, your formal education and your media is not going to give it to you. The best way to get to the bottom is come and see it for yourself. Come and see it for yourself. Don't even take what we're taking, take what we're saying. If you really want to know, then you can take the initiative and come here. Big shout out Black Messiah. When you incur racist things at the workplace, I went through this working for JP Morgan Chase. I mean, it's the most debilitating thing because it's wrong. You get passed up for the promotion that you were qualified for. You might actually be doing the function. They just don't want to pay you for what you're doing. You're getting targeted by an employee, your manager, unjustly, unfairly. You have no recourse. In some cases, I went to the HR department. They tell you you can file an anonymous grievance. I remember I reported my manager, for harassment because that's what it was. And after I reported her, it got more intense. And I was led to believe, did they notify her that I reported her? Because now she's doing it like double time. And these are things you can't fight. You can't fight other people's perceptions of you, but they mistreat you based off of it. And these are some of the things that will be alleviated when you come here to Africa. You're not going to, obviously, yeah, some people are going to see you and they're going to hear your accent. They're going to know you're a foreigner. They might charge you a little extra, or some people might try to use you to migrate abroad. But there's nothing like, mass shooters coming to a Black grocery store. What happened in Buffalo earlier this year? White supremacist goes to a Black community, goes to a Black grocery store and says he just wants to kill Black people. And he kills some Black people. He sees a white person in a shop. He skips them. And then he goes back to shooting other Black people. You're not going to face those kind of things here. You're not going to face these kind of things. Police brutality, getting profiled in the airport or in shops, getting ignored for service when you go out to restaurants, people pulling you over in your nice car saying, hey, how did you get this Mercedes? They ride Mercedes over here like Toyotas here in Ghana. Okay, that's a standard car. Land Rovers. I done seen everything over here in my neighborhood. Shout out to my Nigerians. They even here with Lagos plates. I saw a Phantom the other day with Lagos plates. Okay, they rolling out here. You're not going to get stopped by the police for them to say, well, how did you afford this nice car? Why are you in this part of town? You don't belong over here. Your kind doesn't belong over here. But you'll think that we're just exaggerating until you actually come here and experience it for yourself. You'll think, Gina, she's just hyping it up. Ghana ain't all that, this and that, blah, blah. Okay, well then I beg to be corrected. I stand to be corrected. If you feel like I'm all talk, you feel like Mr. Uhuru's all talk, he's been to 20 countries in Africa. He's making it up. He's making it up. It's all in his head. Then come on, come and check us. Come see what it's all about. Then you tell me. We'll do like a little survey after the tour and say, okay, did this meet your expectations? Was Ghana what you thought it was like? Are you happy with your trip? Just to pick your brain and see if it was true or false. So if you are interested, again, our full booking and itinerary is available at www.tayeahuru.com. Right here. Oh, it was right there. What happened to it? Hold up. Big shout out to the African Superstar family. Do you guys have any questions for us today? Do you guys have any questions about the tour or anything like that? This is our website. Well, it's not my website. It's his website. But you can find all of our tour itinerary. It's right on the homepage. You can see the full itinerary, what we're going to do day by day. And you can also book. You have an option to make your deposit. Obviously, the tour is the first week of March, so you would need to have completed your payments by February just to make sure you have enough time to get your visa to visit, and that we have enough time to prepare for you and make arrangements for you and all that stuff. So let's, if you're interested, then you need to make that move. Big shout outs, guys. Okay, let me go to the comments and finish this. Terry says, I suffered so much racism in the US. I just learned to play the game. Black Messiah says, debilitating is the word. I mean, you literally feel like you can't do anything. I had those moments where I was just like, this is my life, and obviously you got to work because you need money to live, and they don't promote us to do entrepreneurship. We got this one income that everything is riding on. When you come here to the content, you'll be surprised how you become entrepreneurial. You might learn new things about yourself, find new skills, start hustling. You make some friends, you do some connections. And, obviously I came here and, I'm a success story. I turned into a musician, but I never did music in the West. I had no idea that I had this talent. I was very preoccupied with nonsense. So I never had time to sit down and make a song and, think about things like that. So you might surprise yourself when you come here. You'll be like, who is this person? Who is this individual? I know some ladies, if there's ladies in the room, you might be mad, you might be bitter, you might, your emotions are all over the place. You just unhappy. I was just unhappy when I lived in the West. I was just so unhappy. My demeanor has changed, because I don't feel that pressure, people talking down to me all the time and can't do anything about it and living this life I don't want to live, and this slavery and this BS job and these stupid coworkers. I don't have to be under all that pressure. So it allows me to be, as one of the buzzwords of 2023, in my feminine energy. I get to be more in my feminine energy because the environment is conducive of that, Terry says, we had to play the game. It was a mental torment. Absolutely. Real talk. It was, and real manipulation of the game. That's right. That is right. Terry says, I'm hoping to come next year when my home is done. I want to meet you, sis, and hopefully a tour will be available. Yeah. We have plans to collab more in the future, and maybe other locations outside of Ghana. So, definitely we'll keep everybody updated with what we do. Depending on the success will determine, if y'all come here and turn out and act up, I might just be like, oh, I don't know, Mr. Hoover. I don't know. They was crazy. I don't know. But if you come and we have a good time, I might say, okay, that wasn't so bad, So let's go ahead and make future dates. So it all depends on the family. It all depends on you guys, but we want you to come to our tour. Mr. Hoover, you got anything else to add to our message today?
Man, you was dropping it. Like you say, okay, you live in America, you live in Cleveland, New York, Baltimore. There's homicides every day on the black side. We killing each other. Then on the white side.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Oh,
we can't hear you that well.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me?
This guy's so laid back. He got that low voice, you know what I'm saying? Any kind of country too.
Can you hear me?
Put your headphone on. Maybe it's the headphone. One of them is off, I think. No, put the headphones, both of them, on your ear. Because I can't hear you now.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. But like you pretty much you covered everything, but I want to reiterate. So you live in America your whole life. You live in Cleveland, New Orleans, LA, New York. We going through the same thing. We don't have to take a survey. All of us are going through the same thing. We dealing with the black people killing each other every night, gun violence. Then we got to deal with the white people doing mass shootings. This is every day. This is not once a week or once a month. This is every single day. We have to deal with mass incarceration, housing discrimination. So if you sell your house and a white person sell their house, y'all can have the same.
They getting more money. Yeah.
They get more money. If you go to the bank to buy a house and they go to the bank to buy a house, y'all make the same.
They give you crazy interest rates.
They're going to get a better interest rate and they're going to get more money. It affects our job. It affects the health care. They even said, like, if a black person gets shot 9 times and they go to the emergency room, they'll make them wait for so much longer. Or Black people had the babies. They pulling the babies out so hard, they taking the head off because they think that we don't feel pain. So when you go to Ghana, half of the problems that you have as a Black man or a Black woman, you're not going to have to deal with. You could watch TV in Africa. You don't have to see men wearing dresses every day, every
Man, listen.
You could be a full masculine heterosexual Black man,
and it's okay.
It's right. It's beyond.
It's the norm. It's actually the norm.
The food, the fruits, the vegetables, they're not full with chemicals. They're not GMO. They're not cloned. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to have a totally better quality of life. The cost of living is much lower. So the money will go further. Like you say, you have less red tape. And then in America, the better that we do is more detrimental to their success. You get what I'm saying? Where we go to Africa, they're going to be happy that we, increasing the economy, employing people, people to spend money. We're here. We be so afraid to come together to open a grocery store or open a bank or open a movie theater or airline. We can't do nothing but work for them. So you have to get out of that mentality. You have to overcome that fear, and you just got to take a chance. We done been through hell already, so you ain't got nothing to lose.
Right. What do you have to lose by coming to see that? If Africa's what you think it is, then what do you have to lose by come check it out? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, there's thousands diasporans currently. We don't know the actual figures, but I know there's loads of them in Senegal, Kenya, the Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa. There's loads of diasporans now living on the continent. We come and go. We ain't got burnt at the stake. We ain't dying of nutrition, malnutrition. We haven't been ran out of our homes. People telling us they don't want us here. We haven't been ravaged by disease, with pot bellies and flies all over our heads. I mean, does anybody think like, wait a minute, the narrative is completely different than the diasporans I know that are going to the continent, that live there, that are traveling back and forth. Actually, they done went there, they done lost weight, they look good, they look younger, they look happier, their health problems have gone away. They got businesses, now they done found had love. All these things have happened since they came. The narrative is not narrativing. Hello. Yes. So we want to, in not just talking about it, because a lot of our people, that's all they do. Talk. Okay. We want to offer you an opportunity to come here, do it with us. We're people that you can trust. You're going to get what you pay for. You're going to have a nice trip. Everything will be prepared for you, and you'll be safe. You'll be in a group setting. We'll make sure that you get to see a bit of Ghana, even if you're a solo traveler and you're like, I've never been out the country. I don't know Africa. I don't know. Okay, then this is a great opportunity for you to come so that you can be with people, and maybe make some new friends. I know a lot of my very best friends now, I would say, all happen to be, Pan-Africans, all happen to be diasporans, either living here or traveling here. And I've met them through this journey. And I don't believe I probably would know them if I wasn't here. I met Monica, my girlfriend from New Jersey. I met her here in Ghana. I met Sister Ya. We met on YouTube, but when I got here to Ghana, we became, we've been best buds. I met Dynas. You know what I'm saying? I met my girl Tawa. I met my girl Ayana. All these people, Lalit. All these people, I've connected with them either here physically in Ghana, or they're traveling back and forth or whatever. And it's really refreshing, because it's also very draining talking about these topics with people that are ignorant, people that are not receptive, people that are misguided, or, it's very draining. So once you come on the tour, you'll be spending a week with other people that are interested in Ghana and have taken the initiative to come and travel and experience it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Big shout outs. What's up, guys? Yes. Knowledge Wisdom says, this is a needed conversation. I'm glad to see this today. I'm happy that you saw this, brother. Yes. And come and visit us here in Ghana. You know what I'm saying? Come and visit us in Ghana. We got a tour coming up. March 2024 is the one and only African Superstar X Taye Uhuru. This is my partner. We're here to obviously promote the tour, to get you to, you know, get you make the move and come on over and spend time. You know, you might be, I saw that Kimberly was she speaking the lyrics for my brand new song Shades. Big shout out to Kimberly. I dropped a new song last week called Shades. It's about Black love. It's now streaming on all the sites, and you can obviously, for those of you that have purchased music from me in the past at bandcamp.com, you can find the track there. It's only $4. So go over there, support your girl, support the music if you love it, and download it and all that. We also have the official audio here. So yeah, you might just be an African Superstar fan. You might be like, yeah, Ghana's okay, but I want to chill with the African Superstar for a week. Bam, there you go. You're going to get a private concert. You're going to get a private picture with me and the group. You know what I'm saying? I got something real special for that picture. I'm not going to tell y'all. You got to come see. And then all y'all that didn't come, y'all going to see the pictures and footage after our tour. And y'all going to be like, dang, I wish we was there. Yep. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Don't be that girl. Don't be that guy. Reserve your spot today. What's up, Gideon? Kimberly, she likes the song. If you haven't heard Shades, guys, you gotta have you gotta check me out. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna play the song because that's not what this episode's about. But yes, you can find the track here on YouTube and Spotify, Audio Mac, wherever you're listening to music. You can also Google me. Just go Google Shades, the African Superstar. It'll come right up. So yes. Well, big shout outs to the family. Okay, Mr. Uhuru, do you have anything to add before we wrap up? We almost been here an hour, family. Make sure you like the stream.
Man, just invest in your mental health and your spiritual health, and at least visit Africa.
That's right. And for the brothers, it's definitely important for you guys, because I mean, you're just totally not respected at all. Not just in the West, but in most of the world where you would be considered diasporans. I saw a story just today about a Nigerian man who was killed in the Philippines. He went to go collect his pay and they beat him to death. He was working at this call center, and he was working there with his Filipino girlfriend. And the manager came to him and said, hey, we have a strict policy about, people dating in the workplace. So one of you guys is going to have to quit. And they were wanting the Nigerian man to quit. Well, the girlfriend decided, hey, it's all or nothing, so we both going to quit. So they requested their pay for the couple days they have been there. And all of a sudden, the person who owned it, which was a Chinese lady, she had a call center there. She called some Chinese men and they came and beat that man to death. His name is IKEM, IKEM. You can check out the hashtag. It's Justice for IKEM. They're killing you guys all around the world. Okay, they don't respect you guys. If you come to the continent, you can have a place of refuge where you're not going to be attacked simply for being a Black man. And I can only imagine, I'm not a Black man. I know how ethereal the feeling was just for me. But I can imagine that it's just so liberating, because that's what a lot of the brothers say when they come. It's just so liberating to be able to be a man, to be able to be respected, for that not to be undermined, here on the continent. It's the only place we can have that dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only place we can have that dynamic. I'm trying to tell you, because every other place we go, we are part of the minority. We stand out. They can see us by our appearance. And that will sometimes incite violence and hate, because that is who they are. It's just a fact. So, no long talking, guys. If you want to come to the continent, we have a tour to Ghana, March 2024. There are also other people, reputable people, that are also offering tours if you're interested in other destinations. But for now, we got the tour here in Ghana. And I know Mr. Uhuru, he's offering tours in other locations too. So, you know, but do you have any other tours before our tour currently, or is our tour the next one you got?
We next up.
Okay, so between now and March, we are his only tour. So don't miss it. Don't miss it. Big shout outs to the family. Tarot Destroyer says, I'm hoping to come next year when my home is done. I want to be married. I'm hoping to come next year when my home is okay. You did that. All right, I don't know. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh. Okay. Trying to go through these, but there was a lot of comments. Okay. Yes. So anyway, back to for the last time, you can find all the information about our tour if you're interested. Also, sharing is caring, guys. If you have friends that are interested in coming, pass the word along. Hey, I know you've been saying you want to go to Ghana. I know somebody who's doing a tour. You can trust them. You know, go ahead and share it with people that are interested. If maybe you've already visited, you know, like somebody said earlier, now their family want them to come tour, but they ain't trying to take them. All right, send them to us. We'll take them. We'll take them, and we'll give them a great extra introduction to Ghana. And from there, you know, the possibilities are endless. And I think, you know, once you come and you actually experience it for yourself, for those of you that have prospective plans in the continent, you say, yeah, I want to move back home. I want to start the business. From there, you can start strategizing because you have some actual tangible information and personal experiences to build upon. And that's what we did. Neither he or I just decided to move to the continent and do all the things that we're doing. We started out with a visit. And I know as far as me, both of us, our first trip was to South Africa. It kind of made me curious about other places, you know, so I started touring other countries. I personally wanted to experience all the regions. So I went to North Africa. I went to Egypt. I went to the East. I went to Kenya and Tanzania. Obviously, West Africa, my favorite, Ghana. I also went to Nigeria. And so, you know, I sampled a bit of the continent. I sampled. And then I came on the content like, you know, Ghana's good for me. I mean, you guys know the story. I don't got to tell you the story. Hello. I got to tell you the story. Y'all know the story. So, yes, I'm not going to keep talking. We will see you guys again on our next episode. Again, go to the website if you're interested in the tour. If you have any questions for us specifically, you can connect with either Mr. Uhuru or I. All his socials are Taye Uhuru, and obviously mine is the African Superstar. My email is africansuperstar@gmail.com. So don't hesitate to reach out to us about this topic. Okay, guys? So big shout out to the African Superstar family. Until we meet again, stay black and true. If you ain't black, just stay true.